while listening this line and go beautifully, you explain what was that surprising learning which you have learned from your journey.
Okay. So see, the thing is, up until so basically, when people started celebrating me, people started expecting me to talk on platforms, they started inviting me. That is where I realized what I have done in my life. Otherwise, if you see, for me, it was all about navigating through my own struggles, which others were not able to understand. Whether it is in terms of schooling, engineering, coming to corporate, then understanding who I am, accepting, going through a journey of gender transition, socially, legally, medically. I was navigating through my own challenges. I was trying to figure out ways how to pick up my own battles, which battle to fight, which battle to ignore. But it's when people started celebrating all that and they started inviting me, showering me with recognition and awards and praise, that is where I realized, okay, oh, all right, I have done something in life.
Good.
It's not
Wow.
because other thing and underlying reason behind that also is a lot of times individuals like me also go through very low self-esteem issues.
Yeah.
Because growing up, especially when you're constantly made to feel you don't belong here, you're not required, you're different, you're not a human, that is where then you also start developing that mindset that maybe they are right. Because if 10 people are saying that thing, imagine what a kid would think. They're right. Because why would 10 people say they 10 people are saying similar things, similar thought process, then it's correct. And that is where you start developing extremely low self-esteem.
Yeah.
So I even today still struggle to celebrate my achievements because I just don't know. I don't believe that I have achieved something in life, because that's the underlying trauma, childhood trauma that I have gone through. And in fact, I did not have this realization. Therapy helped me understand
Wow.
these things, these aspects of my personality.
This was going in my mind. What motivates you? How you got this courage?
So, like for example, a situation happens, and at times I react in a way in that situation, which later on when I reflect upon it, I realize that no, why did I react that way? I shouldn't have. And then it starts bothering me that why did I react in a particular way in that situation where I could have handled it in a different way. That's what pushed me to get into therapy.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say that therapy tells you that you should choose this way, you shouldn't choose that way. No, no, no. Therapy helped me understand what is deep within me that is not addressed. What are the traumas which are still within me, which have not yet been addressed or not even recognized by me? Because unless somebody tells you, somebody deep dive, let's say your growing up years, how you made to feel, what exactly happened, how did you navigate through it, unless somebody sits with you, talks about all these details, for example, I have a couple of friends who have been victims of child sexual abuse, and growing up, when they decided to venture into romantic relationships, valid romantic relationships, which were not working out, that's where when they venture into therapy they realized these are the childhood traumas.
Yes.
Which have not been addressed, which is causing them these struggles.
Okay.
Similarly, for an individual like me, when I suffered from, let's say, low self-esteem, when I sit at a table where we see individuals who just bluff, not all, but bluffing is a quality which certain individuals have mastered.
Yeah.
And you are sitting with that individual who struggle with low self-esteem. So even if you know things, you are hands-on, you have done, you have achieved things, you struggle to put forward your opinion, not because you are not competent, because you have your own battles to fight with. And that is what happens with lesser represented individuals at workplaces. Other thing is, when we talk about privileged individuals, they also fail to recognize their own privileges. And I'm not saying all, of course, I have amazing individuals around me. Even though they are privileged, they know their privileges and they ensure they are enablers to individuals like me who have these struggles to navigate through. But yes, at the same time, I'm surrounded by individuals who are blithely unaware about their privileges.
Actually.
Yeah, it's like, them considering taking an auto to office is a struggle. So yes, there are privileged individuals, but then now that is where I always say you have to pick your battles wisely.
Yeah.
You have to pick your battles wisely. If you continue focusing on the things that you can't control, you lose focus on the things that you can control. So on a daily basis, you have to remind yourself, your focus is on your circle of control. Ignore everything else. Ignore everything else. So let's say somebody is getting celebrated and like recently, I mean, there is this very beautiful term I come across, false litmus test. So especially what happened during Olympics, it was a false litmus test for those pseudo allies, and a lot of those failed miserably. And suddenly you will see one of those getting celebrated on LinkedIn. But then that is where you need to tell yourself that, okay, I mean, that is beyond your control.
Yes.
Why are you getting bothered? Fine, let that person enjoy it. So
It's
yeah,
going.
that is how it is, yeah.
Sometimes it's better not to react.
Not to react, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's not about that person, it is about my own sanity. And why would I let my sanity, my peace get affected by an individual who doesn't need any attention to begin with,
Yes,
right?
of course. So what message you would like to give your younger one when they are going through the difficult time in their life, which actually see what I feel, as you said, the validation from the society makes you even more uncomfortable, and the low esteem thought process, I think it all develops from there. So what kind of your suggestions would be for, like, you took a help of therapist, but I don't think so that everybody is, and I think each and everybody is going through some of the struggle, any of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's where being empathetic helps. So maybe what I would say is, they need to invest efforts in understanding their core. So there are various psychological techniques available. One of them could be around a pizza. You have slices of a pizza. Similarly, they can have slices and they can try to identify their core values using that exercise. So core values could be various things. It varies for every individual, but my suggestion here would be, apart from the chaos that is around you, invest conscious efforts in identifying your core values, because those core values will help you remain focused. Doesn't matter whether you are in corporate, whether you are working with some NGO, some different sector, you are an entrepreneur, or you're not doing anything, just sitting at home. But once you have those core value exercise done, these aspects of your personality, what you want to achieve, what is lacking, what you need to do, what you need to avoid. May not be 100% accurate, that's not what I'm saying, because we are humans at the end of the day, but at least some part of it that will help you remain focused, especially during storm. Second is, I would say, it's okay not to be okay, which I keep on saying. So like I said, I mean, we need to stop celebrating being positive all the time, being happy all the time, No, it's some days, some moments are terrible, and that is where it's absolutely not right to expect everybody to be cheerful and happy all the time. So it's okay not to be okay. You just accept, understand that part of it, that you're not okay, accept it, learn to navigate through it and bounce. So yeah.
What you're saying, that's true, but I think that's required a lot of efforts, and it's not that easy. Like, I hope if you can just share with us like your transition journey, anything which was the negative part, and you have, you know, turned out positive for you.
Sure. So of course, the first thing was turning my own non-acceptance to acceptance.
Wow.
Because the kind of milieu surrounding, upbringing that I come from, any other individual from a small town, first struggle was accepting my own self.
Okay.
I got introduced, exposed to the information majorly because of internet and coming to a city like Pune. But then once you know the information, the realities, the facts, the battle is also accepting that yes, this is what it is. So that was the first thing, turning my own non-acceptance into acceptance. Then also getting my parents on board, friends on board. Then other things which are slightly funny also. So even today, if you look at our education system and all, still not very inclusion friendly
Yeah.
on certain aspects. So I ensure whenever, let's say, because I was, I was a merit holder in my school, and I was like one of those, like for example, what happened with Pakistan now, Nadeem won gold medal. Similarly, I had done a similar thing during my academia. So I was the first one to appear in a merit list. So I was celebrated. My name is there on the board in the school and all. So they sent me an invite for the prize distribution, annual prize distribution ceremony. So I ensure whenever I have time, bandwidth, I participate in these events, because just by being there through my existence, I am sending across this message, especially to teachers.
Wow.
This is very much possible. So maybe growing up, let's say I was an effeminate child, but that was not wrong. There was a struggle which I was going through. Same for college, psychiatrists. So during my self-exploratory phase, I came across these individuals who held degrees from reputed institutions, but like you said during our offline catch up, the degree was just for the sake of degree. There was no wisdom, there was no knowledge. So they hadn't learned anything from the degree, it was just there on the wall. So these individuals dismissed my identity. These individuals gave me suggestions, recommendations which were absolutely bizarre. So again, if possible, I definitely try to help them, rise above what they were back then.
I wish they must be watching this video.
Hope so, yeah. And of course, then I have my own website. I have my talks are available on various platforms like YouTube, which are very mainstream. So individuals who have, innate biases, prejudices, misunderstandings about LGBTI plus individuals, they can get exposed to it, they can learn through it. So that also pushes them. So like for example, let's say today we are having this conversation where I'm sharing openly, candidly about various aspects, and I have a certain credentials behind me. So that validates what I'm saying, right?
Of course.
Rather than not having those credentials. So that is why, let's say, whoever watches this video, that will push that person to, kind of question their thought processes, question their biases. So yeah, I mean, it's a constant effort. But having said that, I have also developed this skill of being smart, wise about it. I mean, I will be choosy which battle to pick, where to invest efforts, because that's not something which I want to do continuously, because it takes a toll on one's mental health also, right? So that is where then I need to constantly be wise about choosing my battles.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it is.
So what all are the major biases? Though I know few, but I would like to hear from you.